Hello, everyone. You are so welcome to Unmasked Lifestyle, and I'm Chinwe here. So today we are having part two of our excellent, wonderful conversation on mom versus dad and why children would have to choose between both parents. And today, without So I would just say today, if you're just visiting, if you're coming across this channel for the first time, we would recommend and suggest that you subscribe to the channel, but don't subscribe in this chat. You can take one of our very short video, watch it, and then you can connect with us so that anytime we have an upload, you will be the first to see it. So, and we would appreciate anyhow you want to support the channel. But without further ado, I will just go ahead and start welcoming our brilliant panel for this conversation today. And I have to actually, before I bring our wonderful panel, acknowledge those that have already signed up in this chat. I am so excited that you guys are here to be part of this conversation. We have Amaka Chioma here, already saying present, ma'am. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. Signing up already. That is so fantastic. Chinyere Okonkwo, you're here. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you. So let's go ahead. Chim, you. Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate all of you that have come to listen to this conversation. So, I welcome our panel. We have Ginger Lavelle Morgan, and let's join me to welcome Ginger Lavelle Morgan.
Hello.
Hello, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining this exciting conversation. I'm so excited to get the viewers have fun with this conversation that is really intriguing, So I'll let you, introduce yourself to this amazing viewers that we have here.
Okay, sounds good. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Ginger Lavelle Morgan. All the different time zones.
I know. Wow, amazing.
My name is Ginger Lavelle Morgan. I am residing where I was born and raised in South Texas. I am a mother of three. I am a wife to one husband. And I am a daughter of two wonderful parents. And as I said in part one, for those of you who are now joining us for the first time, I am a self-professed daddy's girl. I have a very, very close relationship with my mom and my dad. But I would consider my relationship with my dad a little extra special just because of the father-daughter dynamic. But I tell you, if you mess with my mama, I'm coming for you.
That's exciting. That is so wonderful. We are so excited to have you again today. You bring so much to this conversation, and I personally really appreciate your, being part of this conversation. Thank you once again for joining us for this conversation. And I will just welcome our viewers. We have Amaka Chioma, super excited already. We were excited about this event, this conversation as well. We have Kenny Ufondu, hello host panel and fellow observers. So these are the people we have. I know we have other people watching behind the scene, but if you're visiting us, as I said earlier, if you're visiting us for the first time, or if this is the first time you come across this channel, we would recommend that you try to subscribe to us. And if you are here and you're watching from your phone, I would just give you a little tip on how to give us a thumbs up. You can just kick your arrow on your phone backwards a little bit. Then you'll be able to give us a thumbs up and then you come back into the live. But if you're watching from your computer, you can just go and see the thumbs up button and you click on it if you want to give us a thumbs up, and thumbs down is also welcome. So just like the stream for us. So thank you all for coming, and let's bring on other members of this panel. So thank you all coming from Nigeria and all of that. It's going to be exciting. So let's welcome a fellow YouTuber, the one and only Rose Uzoma TV.
Oh, thanks so much, host, for welcoming
Hello.
me. Hi, everyone. Hi, Ginger. How are you doing today?
Hello, Ruth. Good to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you too. Host, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, doing great. Thank you so much. You look beautiful. Thank you for coming. And
Thank
I'll
you
give
so
you
much.
1 minute if you can just introduce yourself to the viewer. I've already introduced you. You're a YouTuber, but if you want to say one or two things before we get started.
I think that is all. My name is Rose Zoma and I'm a YouTuber. For now, that is all.
Click it. Yeah. So now let's I think we should continue while we wait for other members of this panel to join. Okay. So we have a few questions that we are going to be asking today. This is part 2. Just give me 1 minute, please.
Mommy.
So the question that we're going to start with is, what part could parents play to help their children to not want to even begin to think of choosing between either parents? So Ginger, I'll let you, since you were the first to be here, if you can start us. Did you get a question or do you want me to repeat it?
Your question was, what can parents do to make a child not want to choose between the two of the parents?
Yes.
To pick up where I left off last week with part 1, I personally don't believe that in most cases favoring one parent or the other is a conscious choice. Personally, I believe it's a thing that kind of develops organically, happens naturally, where the child may find that they have more things in common with one parent than the other, or they may find that one parent makes them smile more than the other, or one parent is a yes parent and the other parent leans towards being a no parent or the disciplinarian. But as far as what parents can do, I think that parents just need to ensure that they are always operating in love. I think that parents need to make sure that they are not making their own personal issues with things that happen negatively during the day or financial issues, whatever problems that the parents are having. I think it is imperative that the parent make strong efforts to not make that issue their child's problem. And so I think that when you speak to your child, you treat them as they are, treat them like they're a human being. Treat them like they are also joint heirs in the kingdom of Christ. Treat them respectfully. Treat them with love. I think that your child will love you. Your child will love you. And whether or not they favor mom or they favor dad on Monday, but they favor dad or mom on Tuesday, I think that'll just be a small issue. That'll be a small little topic.
Wow, that is fantastic. I love these ideas, you know, because it's up to us to help them not to do this. And what you have said, love does it all. I'm a so believer of that as well. So, Rosie Mama, what do you have to say on this?
Well, the only thing I have to add is that God has already made the man the head of the family, of the home. There is need to always be a head. And that's why God made man the head of the home. So if you are the head of the home, it's not just by the ego or by anything. It's okay you come down when you analyze the head. When even in the Bible, when marriage was discussed, the Bible said that a man should love the wife. You get, as Christ loved the church. So Christ loved the church. Christ loved the church, and he's making sure that anytime that the children, the Christians, call on him, that he's always there to answer them. You understand? Without Christ answering some of the needs of Christians, I don't think most people might go back to where they are coming from, or might even stop going to church. So what am I saying? The man should do what God has should do what God has bestowed to him, which is the power to handle that home the way it should be. Mostly children, as they coordinate themselves more when the dad is around. That alone has shown you the kind of authority God has bestowed on them, the men. But some of our men take it for granted to turn to the Lion of Judah of their own family instead of being friends to their family. You understand? And when the man do what the Bible has commanded him to do, which is by loving the wife, you see submissiveness of the wife coming naturally. There is a time that your husband will do some things to you, and you feel indebted that you're not making him happy enough, that he deserves to be more happier than this. You just be thinking on your head, oh God, I don't want to offend this man. I want to do more. Take it or leave it. Any home that the husband and the wife are in peace, the children are always amazing. You can't take it away from them. It's always amazing, because you come to that home, the male children will see that, yes, I should respect my sisters because my dad also respects my mom. From there, that is it. He's growing up respecting his elders, not just his elders. Any woman he sees, he respects. You get. And same as the ladies. Whereby the mother and the father have a very good communicational stuff. You see that communication stuff. You see that even the ladies on their own, the way they interact outside. Most times you don't need to follow a child to her parents' house or to anywhere before you know the upbringing of that child. So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that I know it's not easy, especially in this era that we are. But I urge all parents, no matter what it will take you, these are children. You are their caretaker. Bring out any time. There is no time that is too small. There is no time too big. Don't feel that you are the man of the house. Yes, sit down. Do you know what it takes to love? If you know what love means, you will know that even for the family to be a better place, it depends on the man. Because somebody that you love, you can sacrifice everything for. So why can't you sacrifice that thing for your family? Like some men, especially from where I'm coming from, The little time that we have for the family, that is when they will remember there is one beer parlor, there is one joint, there is one friend, there is one this, there is one girlfriend, all those kind of a thing. Forgetting that you are the head of this family. If you say this family will run fine, definitely it will. It all depends on you. You understand?
Wow.
It all
Thank
depends
you.
on you. I beg our men, please, no matter what, no matter how it is, make out time for your family. That is the highest investment you will ever do in your life, making time for your family. They grow not to forget it. They always remember it.
Thank you.
Let me just stop here for now.
Thank you so much for that contribution. And we have another, okay, hold on. We have African UTVs in the house. I've already brought him on. So African UTV, are you there?
Yes, ma. Good evening, madam, and thank you so much for bringing me to the program. God bless you.
You're welcome, and thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate that you're here with us today. Would you want to chip in? Did you hear the question? If you want to, 1 minute to say what you think on this question before we proceed.
Awesome. So, good evening, everybody, and co-host. Good evening, and once again, and thanks so much for joining this week again. So, in my own perspective, I see it this way: that in terms of children, the male children love their mother the most, while the female children.
Sorry, just a minute. I would recommend Christian, one of our panel is struggling to join us. So I have dropped the link. If you can click it. Christian, are you there? If you're there, I dropped the link for you in the chat. If you click on it, let's see if that will bring you in. Just click on the link I dropped on the chat and let's see if that would help. So sorry, African UTV, continue. Sorry about that.
So the male children, they are way closer to their mom, and it's like they love their mom the most, while the female children, they care for their father and they love their father the most. Because I have male children, also I have female children. I know how they behave at home, because when the male children come to the man, like come to the father, and they see that when I request for something, maybe like 2-3 things, my father is gonna barely answer me or give it to me. But when they go to their mother, even if you are the one, the father is the one to give those things out at the end of the day. But when they go through their mother, it will be easier to achieve that from you. But in terms of the female child, when they come to you, you as a father, as I would say, 90% of father, they love the female children the most, because they believe maybe their mother don't, their mother care about them, but it don't really feel they don't love the mother as the female child. So, and you can see it in our family, in the background, wherever we come from, that it's always like that. The female children always love the father, while the male children always love the mom.
Wow, that is a different dynamics of this. That is why actually I thought that it made sense to bring the diversity into this conversation. Because when Ginger, you give your own, part of the, your position of this conversation, is, it all bring the dynamics into it. So culture actually, from what you can see, plays a part in helping a child to decide who to choose. But the conversation here, we're trying to see how to help the young, old, and younger parents or individuals to nurture their family in such a way that the children will not be put in a position to make this choice, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
although we know culture plays a big part, but this is what we're trying to achieve. Really, I
yeah,
love your perspective on this conversation.
yeah. The best way to achieve that, it's when both parents are united. When there's no problem in the family, I believe the children will not know the other part of life. They will love the family. They will love the mother. They will love the father, because they may be a little bit different, but if there's no problem in the family, that the family is united and everything is okay in the family, it will be very, very difficult for those children to know those things.
Wow. Thank you for that perspective. Let's welcome. It's, sorry, Christian, it was kind of a little bit of technical issues here for you to come on. You were here early, but I don't know what happened, technology. You are the computer expert. You should help us do this. So you are welcome, Christian Merenini. If you don't mind to, introduce yourself again to some of our viewers that may not have seen the part one of this conversation. So if you can introduce and just give us in 1 minute your perspective of this. You heard the question, I suppose, or do you want me to repeat the question?
I did hear the question.
Okay.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, my name is Christian Merenini. I work for Reuters News, and I am a family man, like I mentioned in the first discourse. I hold family, values to high esteem. And I want to use this opportunity to welcome every guest, everyone on this platform. Welcome.
Thank you. So what's your perspective on this question of how parents can help the children not to make a choice between either parent? Is there, yeah.
Yes, I want to start with the biblical, quote. The Bible putting it that we should train up the child in the way he should go, so that when they grow up, they will not depart from such ways. It is ideal to inculcate values, acceptable values and norms to the child, the girl child, the boy child, from the cradle. And this has a way of shaping their future life. It has a way of shaping their demeanor. It has a way of shaping the society at large. If the right values are passed to the child by both parents, such children will be in dilemma of making a choice or choosing between the dad and the mom. They will always be in a position to offer positive vibes. Let me use the language of the Y2K to the family. So I will advocate every parent to take it as a responsibility to realize that what you do with these children at their cradle is what matters. And that is where you have to do your bit. From the first day of conception, you start giving such child direction. So I believe that such early direction helps these children to stand a position to give back love, to give back values, acceptable values to the entire society, and that way making the world a better place.
Wow, thank you. We have a question in this, I don't know, is a comment, but Ginger, I'll be, directing this. Somebody had put here, he says, some of the children do not take correction, especially teenagers. I know that this is a comment. I'm not sure if it's not that, it's, I don't know, but I don't know. What do you think about that? It's not really directly connected to this question in hand, but I know it's part of this conversation. But do you have anything to say about that?
When it comes to discipline and correcting your children, the way that I was raised, the way that my parents raised me, they had the position of, this is my home. And as long as you are living in my home, you are going to do what I say. That was it. There was no discussion. There was no reasoning. There was no bargaining. I was going to do what they said, or I was going to bear the consequences. And they were not great consequences. If you can welcome a punishment, it's not harsh enough. So if you were excited to be punished, then it's the wrong punishment. And so me being a mother of 3 daughters, my daughters are now 22, 19, and 9. And all 3 of them, my 2 older girls are in college, but they still live at home with me and my husband. I raised my daughters the same way. I am raising my youngest daughter the same way. But me being of a different generation, I'm a little more harsh with my words than my parents were, because what I tell my daughters is, you're a guest in my home.
Wow.
This is not your house. This is my home that I am allowing for you. Now, some people may disagree with that, but my daughters know where I'm coming from when I talk to them that way. Because I also, on the other hand, teach them to respect your home. Be careful what you bring into your home. But they know when they're stepping out of bounds that this is my house. So, but my daughters know I'm not going to tolerate certain behaviors in this home. You are not going to be disrespectful. Yes, we can talk about things. We can discuss things. If you have a different point of view, different position, we can talk. I'm open to hear what you have to say. But at the end of the day, you are going to respect what your father and I have established in this home for our household. And I don't get much back talk from them at all.
Wow. What I'm getting from this conversation, I think almost everybody's on the same point of unity in the home between the parents.
Absolutely.
Everybody's hammering to the same point. When Rose talked about it, the man take responsibility, and what you have said now, you are the authority of your home. Last week you talked about the children didn't even decide to be there. We brought them in.
Absolutely.
So the onus is on the parents to kind of direct and nurture the children. Really fantastic point. And I don't know. I know that today we decided we're not going to stay too long, but let's just, if we don't mind, do 30 seconds or 1 minute conversations so that we can get to the others. We have 4 people in the panel here chatting. So Rose is out. I'll bring her back in. So Rose Uzoma TV, you're here. Are you here? Are you here?
Okay. Yes, I'm here, host. I'm here.
Okay, so in 30 seconds.
You're just running around and I decided to mute myself.
Okay, in 30 seconds, do you have anything to say to that conversation before we proceed?
Which one? That the children.
Teenagers do not listen. I know you don't have a teenager, but you were a teenager before.
Ricky will not is either at least the stubbornness will come from somewhere now, maybe from the father or from the mother. It cannot just come from heaven like that. In my own opinion, anyway. Some kids are like that actually. No matter what you do, you just do your own, then pray. But it's actually coming from somewhere. So my hereditary, if you ask me, I don't know if, but it comes from somewhere. Your own is just to try your own as the caretaker that you are, pray about it, and leave the rest to God. Some people say that later become big people that we end up respecting today. They were actually the stubborn one that they felt maybe these ones are useless or something. So in that stubbornness, just see what the child can do best, what the child loves doing, And from there, at least there is a start.
Okay, so I'm just going to go straight to the next question. Thank you so much for that input of the stubbornness is coming from somewhere. It's coming from either the mother. So in other words, I don't want to ask you, but probably the parents have to look inwards and see where it's coming from. But still, everybody, I believe, every parent wants the child to be better than they were or they are. So, but this question connects to this new one that I have now. How could parents ensure that they help these children or even themselves to make healthy choices? Healthy choices, because the guy was talking about teenagers not listening, and we were talking about the children making choices. So, can we just look at this question? How do we help the children not to make those bad choices? How do parents help the children to make healthy choices? 30 seconds, if any, I'm going to get to Christian Merenini. If you can give us some of your perspective on how parents can help the children not to, and after that, I'll go to African New TV to give us 30 seconds, please, for everyone to address this. Christian, can you hear me? Hello?
It looks like he lost connection.
Okay, we go to African New TV while we wait for Christian to come back. Are you there? African New TV, are you there?
Yeah. Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. So 30 seconds, please. How can we help?
I believe we should be able to bring the children closer to God, to teach them the way of God, and also to help them in every of their way. So I believe with that, the children will, in terms of stubbornness, it actually depends on the way the parent brought them up. Maybe what they see through their mother, or the stubbornness maybe with their father. That actually sometimes when we bring them closer to God and we pray for them, I believe there's nothing that God cannot do.
Wow, love that. Thank you so much. And we've lost Christian Merenini, but Ginger,
yes,
could you
absolutely yes. I feel like parents have to start by modeling good choices. When it's good to approach every day as a learning opportunity and a teaching opportunity. And so when parents are modeling good choices, your children are learning from what you do. They're learning by what they see in the home. They're learning by what they see outside of the home. My father was one who talked to me all the time. I don't remember my brother being present, but surely he was there too. But I remember my experiences. My dad was one who explained everything he was doing all the time. And so here I am in this older age. I'm able to look back and remember I learned how to do this because my dad used to tell me what he was doing when he was doing it. When we would drive in traffic, my father would explain about keeping healthy distance. And so when you see the tires and XYZ, when my father was building a fire in the fireplace, he would explain, you see, the reason that you want to do it this way is because. And so all of those things were poured into me just from day-to-day living,
Wow.
with my mother was an educator. And so my mother was the same way. Ginger, come over here and hand this to me. But I would watch what she was doing. I would see how she would behave in public. I would see how she would respond when people were very negative towards her and how gracious her responses would be. And I just learned from watching my parents because they were very good examples. In addition to that, I would also like to say that I think it's a very good idea that parents, as parents, we can be so protective of our children. But one thing I think is very important is that we not suffocate our children in trying to keep them in this straight line. We want them to travel the straight line, but let's give them a little bit of room. to fall and catch themselves. Let's give them an opportunity to self-correct rather than coming down so harshly when they make a mistake or they make a poor choice. Because every opportunity is an opportunity to learn and do better. Because what you don't want is to rear your child where they were unable to explore, unable to learn, unable to express themselves. And then as soon as they get out of your house, they act like someone you don't even know.
Wow.
You don't
are
want them
so right.
to lose their mind because they've never had an opportunity to choose for themselves and they've never had an opportunity to express an opinion. And they get out of your house and act like someone you don't even know, to where you're wondering who raised that child. Surely that was not my work. You don't want that. And so I think ideally we want to show them the straight line. And we want to just give them a little room with that straight line. No, you don't let them act like somebody else's child in your home, but give them a little bit of room, a little bit of space to grow, a little bit of opportunity to self-correct so that they can learn these things with you there to guide them, because you are a safe place for them to fall.
Wow.
That's my thoughts on that.
Wow, thank you so much. I love the modeling that you talked about, because I also believe that the kids, it's easier to tell somebody to do this, and they can go so far with what you're telling them to do. But if you are doing it, they are watching. I always think kids are like sponges. They sponge on us. Whatever we're doing, they are watching. And then you tell them, let's say the parent is a criminal, and then telling the child, oh, you cannot be a criminal. It's like the child is confused at this point. And, to your point, we should give them room to fall and get themselves. Thank you for your perspective. And I'll go to Christian. We have some questions in the chat. I'm going to get to the questions. And then before we round up for this, Christian, please, your perspective on helping the children to make healthy choices. How could parents help them to do that?
All right. Parents, thank you, Ma. Parents should understand the dynamics of children. I earlier spoke about the cradle, and I want to borrow from Ginger Morgan, making an assertion that kids are strangers, that they just came. The man and the wife are the owners of the home. So kids are what came in as visitors, kind of. And so parents owe them the responsibility to put them in line with the family values. Now, I want to go quickly to the dynamics of child growth. We also talked about the teenagers, and in fact, it is naturally okay for a teenager to begin to exhibit some demeanor that is extraordinary, because the hormones are actually developing and they are reacting to changes in their world. And so parents should understand at that stage that it is a critical time. And such critical time requires critical approach. So they ought to be given their space at that time. They ought to be directed. They ought to be, given instructions in terms of, suggestions, and not probably being rigid in some of those, ways of directing them. Sometimes we ought to apply some flexibility. How do I mean? Give them space to explore. Give them space to learn from experience. Experience, they say, is the best teacher, but not to expose them to the point where experience takes them to a point where they will be struck, but in a kind of, giving them instances where they should make a choice between the good and the bad, and watch them do that. Sometimes some of us that believe in prayers, pray for them, for direction. Because sometimes when you tell these kids, it's as if they don't really admit or they don't absorb. But it is planted, whatever you say or whatever you tell them, it could help them subsequently in life. At a point, they will recall that mom said this, dad said this, and begins to direct their pattern of life. So I believe that parents should take it with a very carrot and stick approach when it gets to that stage. And then give them everything you owe them in terms of advice and allow them to process those advices and watch them apply them. Thank you.
Wow, I love the carrot and stick part of it and all of your perspective. Thank you so much for that. And I would progress with Uzama TV. Are you here? Or I think
Yes,
I have to
I'm
go
here,
to Africa
host.
New TV. Hold on, Africa New TV has to weigh into this first. I think he's been waiting. Are you there, Africa New TV? Are you there? He left or what? Okay, technical issues. So let's go, Uzama, go ahead while we wait for him to come back.
Okay, host, your question is how
could we, in 30 seconds, please, if you don't mind, how could we help the children, the parents help the children to make healthy choices?
Well, like in Western world here, with the little experience I have, they have this, should I say law, or as is like a cost, is it like a tradition that during holidays you take the kids outing to different places. You understand? And by this, you are expanding the knowledge of that child. And that child being in your house, you should monitor the child and know what this child likes doing. I don't think that it's actually nice for parents to make choices for their kids, because I think that is the reason we have so many fake quack, so many things in this world. Because when you make, so you might think that this choice is what they need and is good for them, but it might not be what God wants them to do in this world that they are in. You get it? You might say, this my child, I wish this child to be a doctor, but this child lack that patience. And that, as in, for you to be a doctor, you have there's some characters that made that as in, I don't know it. If you see a doctor that, yes, this person, they force and put, you will know. If you see somebody that is called, is ordained to be a doctor, you will know the difference. You understand? I think that the parents should just give the kids guideline, expose them to so many things, technical things, social, and expose them. Then out of this exposure, look deeply and know where the child find interest in and what the child love doing, as in the child is happy doing it. There's some kind of thing that you think that is not, at the end of the day, it becomes so huge that you're surprised that, you understand?
Wow.
So I don't support that thing. Parents, just give your kids guideline, make them make the choice, know what they want, help them, assist them by maybe sponsoring them, encouraging them, and all that. Thanks so much.
Wow, fantastic! Thank you so much. And just to say something here, the question, we're not really saying to help them make choices as in profession. We're just talking about behavior, healthy choices in terms of choosing, because remember the conversation is healthy choice is not to choose between either parents. So the onus is on the parents to behave in such a way or nurture the child in such a way that the child is not left with that choice to choose. When we started last week, Ginger said something that if her both parents were with her to go over the cliff, and she will not take, she's taking the two of them because she was nurtured in such a way that she couldn't choose. And that's what this conversation we are saying. how parents can help the children, nurture them in such a way that we don't put them in that corner to begin to choose, and then we begin to complain that the child
No,
doesn't
I
love me,
misunderstood.
but
I
to your
misunderstood.
point, I like also where you said we shouldn't help them to choose their professions, because people know what they want to do, and we should actually work with the child, whatever they choose to do, work with them so that at the end of the day, the child is loving what they do. Because, so I'm going to get to African UTV. Are you here? Are you here? Hello, are you here? Are you okay? So I think we're having technical issues with him. So I have a question here. Not a question, somebody made a comment. Parents may do very good job with the children, but societal influences pressure could overwhelm their efforts. So it's still, on the line of this conversation of making them to choose. So the influence from the society, the peers, and all of that. I don't know if maybe Ginger, you want to weigh into this, or how can parents, with this comment that is made, how can parents actually help the children navigate? It's all boils down to helping them to make healthy choices. Because if you nurture them in such a way that they couldn't choose, that means the society, we might actually be able to influence them over what the society. But I'll let you guys weigh into this. Ginger.
One thing I can say about my experiences with my parents is that I always cared what my parents thought of me. I respected them. I knew they loved me. And I always cared what they thought. And so for a lot of times, until I moved very, very far away, I really operated from a place of, if they were to find out, what would they think? If this was on the 6 o'clock news, what would people think? And so regardless of what I was fighting on the inside, publicly, I always wanted to ensure that I would not bring embarrassment, humiliation to my family. I never wanted to embarrass my family. And so, that's how I kind of navigated those things. When I was a child, my mother used to always say, and usually when she was scolding me, usually when I was very angry and didn't want to hear a thing she had to say, she would say, "You don't realize it now, but I'm the best friend you'll ever have."
Oh.
And no, it was when I was a kid, I was thinking, yeah, right. No, I was not receiving that. When I became an adult, I remember having a conversation with my mother. Maybe I was a young mother at this time. And I had said to my mom, I said, Mom, it's so weird how you used to always tell me that. And I never believed you. But now I see it. It's like we're friends now. And she said, Ginger, that's because we have a lot more in common now. You're a wife and I'm a wife. You're a mother, I'm a mother. You are running a household, I'm running a household. We have more in common now. And that was something that I thought, oh, wow, like the parent-child relationship has transitioned. And but it's because we had a really good foundation. It's not like we had to get to know each other as adults. The relationship just evolved and transitioned. Even yesterday, I had an emergency with one of my children. And when I sat there just upset, my first thought was, oh, I need to call my dad and let him know. And my father immediately came to my aid and sat with me because he's that soft place to fall. I'm in a position to where there's nothing I can't tell them. Now, they're going to be who they are. They're still going to be parents. And they're still going to disagree, or they're still going to tell me you shouldn't have done that, or you need to go, because they're going to do what they are supposed to do as parents still. But me as an adult child, I also know where my boundaries are too. So when you have that foundation of a healthy relationship, that healthy relationship can continue to evolve and grow into something really beautiful. And even if you started out wrong, every day is an opportunity to fix it and get it right. No hope isn't lost.
Wow, that's fantastic. Oh my word. That is so good. I'm happy that people are listening to this because I'm sure and I'm hopeful that whoever is here today would take one or two things with them away from this conversation. Because the essence of this is not just to have fun, we also want to change from within. We're not changing the entire world, but at least baby steps. And hopefully, people can take something away from this conversation today. And especially when you give live examples, people can begin to even work from there and say, okay, now I should make these adjustments. Thank you very much for those perspectives and those examples. I'm not sure if African UTV is in the house. Are you here now? Are you here, African UTV? Okay. So he's still not there. Technical issues. Who did I lose now? Are you there? No. Okay. So, Christian, would you weigh into this?
Yeah, sure. Yes, I want to link it up with what Ginger Morgan narrated. Going straight to the point, societal influence on the children. This is where the child comes in because they also have a part to play. Like Ginger mentioned, the mother told her something long ago, and she got realizing the fact that it was a fact and a truth that she is the best friend she could have. She realized it. This is where the child gets to know that the advice they give to themselves matter most as well. For instance, there are so many societal influences. Some kids of these days are being told that you don't need to pay your dues. You could just make it overnight. I mean, this is where they should advise themselves to say, oh, I've been told that I have to sacrifice. No cross, no crown. They could then advise themselves from that point to say, no, I really, really have to work hard to make ends meet and not to just expect manna to fall from heaven. Yeah, that is how such societal influences could be curbed or probably ameliorated.
Wow.
In the third world or developing world, there is a slogan going on. People are going after a very, personality to say, no, there's no need to go to school, no need to work hard. You can make it soft work. Every child listening or every parent pass it to the children that at that point, that child needed to advise themselves because the advice you give to yourself could matter in such instance.
Wow.
That's my take on this.
Wow. Thank you so much for that input. Really appreciate it. And I don't know if we've lost one of our panel members, but Rosuzama, are you here?
Yes.
Okay, please, do you want to weigh into this? Did you remember what the question was?
No.
Okay, so it's talking about societal influences, how parents could help so that the children are not actually leaning more on their peers or the society, that what they have a good foundation at home, so that maybe the home foundation can influence them more than the outside. So that's what we wanted you to weigh into it.
Okay. That is the same thing. To me, that is the same thing we have been saying since.
Okay.
Giving much time, attention to your kids and imparting as much as you can to them when they are still little, when they are still with you. As Ginger rightly said, she said when she left home, if she wants to do some kind of thing, she remembers what the mom told her years back. and that makes her to make a U-turn. You understand? It's
Mm-hmm.
because the mom has done her own part. And that is why she, on her own part, have decided to think about it and see that it can actually help her. But in a situation whereby the parents did not do their work, what will she remember?
Hmm.
So, in that way, the society will now have a great impact to her, a great negative impact to her. Like I always tell my fellow parents, I always tell them that you see any challenge that you know, I'm so sorry, see, my kids are just disturbed and distracted somehow. Any challenge that you
That's
know that probably your kids will get out there, just tell them. There is at times you just open a book and you are reading it. It's a different thing to when you have read this book and you are just revising it. You understand? So whereby I
mm-hmm.
tell my children that, look, oh, as you're going to school now, you are going to meet black, white, green, purple, and you're going to meet nice teachers, you're going to meet some kind of teachers. That when you meet nice teacher, this is what you do. When you meet this kind of, when somebody slap you, this is what you do. When this one. When those
Mm.
things start happening, my child will say, oh, I remember mommy told me about this, and this is what
Wow.
I should do. You understand? And always remind them that in their choices, there is always a penalty for every choice that you make. If you make good choice, you have a good mark. If you make a negative choice, you have a negative mark. I have lived my own life and I'm helping you with what I think that would be a tool to make a very good life. So if you want to be like one kind Amoro that they are looking for, left for you. If you want to be a responsible woman being, left for you. So in my own opinion, this is what I think you should do. This is what, because anywhere that you are, I'm not there with you. It's just you and your conscience that is going to anywhere you are going to. My own
I
is to
love
tell you.
this.
My
I
own is to
love this.
tell you what I have experienced, how you do this, how you do that. Your own is to decide and make choices that you can. Even God permitted us to make choice. You
Wow.
understand?
Thank you.
So let me just.
Thank you so much. I love those perspectives. That is fantastic, actually. I like the analogy of reading the book once, and reversing it. Because when people have pre knowledge of something, they actually kind of act differently because they have the pre knowledge of it. So that is really brilliant. Thank you so much for bringing that point on. And I will just show some of the comments that we have in the chat. Somebody says, do as I do. Don't do as I say, don't do as I do. So we are not going to delve into all of this. Let's read it the way it is because it explains itself. So we don't want the kids to just do what we say. We've talked about it today. We want them to do what we do. So we talked about modeling. So, and that's what this daft lad is saying to us. And then Chioma Micah says, that is true. Children are amazing in homes where there is peace. I think everyone can be amazing in a place that is peaceful. And thank you guys for bringing on this point. It's driving on home these conversations that we've had today. And Lad is also saying something. He says, my kids love their mom, but they respect their dad. Wow. So, at the end of the day, there is no wrong or right answers. The onus today is to bring on board some of these conversations that the brilliant panel have given us today. And then it's up to us. Who is that? It's up to us to begin to you know, help our kids or help the children to make healthy choices by what we do from this conversation. So they respect their father. You in the panel, you've said that. Kids tend to lean more and respect their parents, their dads, and then maybe love their mothers. But at the end of the day, you don't want them to choose whether they respect or love they cannot choose because we all are different and we bring different things to the table in a relationship. So we have, oh wow, James is here. Okay, thank you for coming. We have that. And then, so let me just say, everybody in the chat, I see you. I appreciate your presence. If you have not given us a thumbs up, please, we love thumbs up. If you're watching us from your phone, you can use the arrow and go back one step, and you would see the area where you can put your thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever you choose. Thumbs down is also taken, but we would appreciate you making a choice for us there, either a thumbs up or thumbs down, just to say something to us. So we have, there is no doubt, in praise is saying, there is no doubt that most children in today's society tend to love their mothers more. One of the reasons being that these sorts of kids don't want to be disciplined by dad. Wow. You know, we all have different perspectives on this, and we have talked about this as well. You know, the stubborn child, the role modeling, and all of that. At the end of the day, you know, we have to choose from the conversations today and see what is going to help our families to be nurtured and, you know, be healthy. So now we're going to do final thoughts, and I'm not going to be concluding today. I will let you guys conclude on this with your just 30 seconds. Each person, you're going to give me your recommendation, just one. Let's not go into a long story or something. Let's just do one recommendation on how children in particular could manage to be fair to both parents. You know, how can we help the children to give us a recommendation? But before we go, I have somebody in the chat saying something. Let's see what they say. Kids seem closer to their moms because moms are nicer. Oh, wow. Dads may be physically present, but often emotionally absent. That is fantastic. You're just being honest. So, you know, as you give us your recommendation, think about this comment here. The dad is emotionally absent. So, as you give your recommendation, think about what could dads do so that they are not emotionally absent. So, think about that in your one recommendation. So, do I say, Rosuzama, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so give us one point, one recommendation, and I would like you to think about this comment. Kids seem closer to their moms because moms are nicer, but you're only giving us one recommendation, please. Just one, so that we can round up. What can we do so that dads are not emotionally, what could dads do so that they're not emotionally absent? 1 point, please. Thank you.
By paying attention and being close to the home. That is just it.
Thank you. That's fantastic. That is, be present. Try and bring your emotions back home. Talk less and listen more. Ask. Okay. Okay. So we have another. He's saying something else, but we are going to be let's digest these things as we give our final recommendation. Christian, hold on. Let's see. African New TV. He's not here. There's somebody who came on. Nelly, are you here? Are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. What do you have to say?
I wanted to weigh in on the previous matter, but seems like it's over. But one thing I would say is when it comes to parenting, involvement is the key to either both of the parents, whether the mother or the father. If you are not involved, then the rain will start raining before even you notice it. And just on the previous one, just if you can allow me, please, I know I'm sorry, but I wanted to say that when it comes to societal influence on children, whether negative or positive, it all depends on what's at the core, the home, where everything begins. Everything at the core it's not easy to mess up with that. So even if they go out, the thing at the core where the morals you instilled in them when they're still young will always follow through. This is acceptable in where I come from. This is not acceptable. So even if the pressures come of bad words and whatnot, they still will have that thing at the core where you have deeply rooted it and said, this is who we are, this is what we do, this we do not do. And I think that's very important when it comes to parenting.
Oh my goodness, we have to give cheer off. I don't have my pom-pom to say thank you so much to African UTV for that super chat. This is coming at a very fantastic time, because let me use this to explain to our audience or the viewers. The super chat, somebody was asking me, we don't understand some of these YouTube terms and things like that. We know we have a lot of organic people in the house. So African UTV is super chatted this chat. I guess he loved what we're doing, even though we lost him technically, but he has, appreciated and supporting our conversation today with a super chat, which you can do through your banking or, PayPal or something you register with. Is going from YouTube to us, but YouTube manages all of this. We are just using the platform. So thank you so much, African UTV, for that amazing
Host,
super chat.
teach them how to do the super chat. Teach them how to do it. Like they click to the dollar sign, it will take them to a hair so that they will know how to do it. Some people want to do it.
So how to do the super chat is there's a dollar sign at the bottom of where you do the chat, where you make your comments. If you look under there, you'll see a dollar sign there. You can, then the other one says emojis. You can get emojis from there, but the super chat is what we're talking about. So you can click on that, and then it will give you options of what do you want, a super chat or super sticker, whatever you want to do is going to give you all that option. Then you can make a decision. This is what you want, and then boom, it's going to come into the screen, and then we're going to appreciate it. So, and whatever super chat you give would show. So if you're doing it during the live, you can actually do it when it's not live, but mostly we appreciate that you do it when it's live so that everybody can see and we can appreciate it. Appreciate you right there. So that's it about super chat. Thank you so much, African TV, once again. And then, so as we are concluding, Christian, could you weigh into this so that we can round up with Ginger, please?
My final thoughts: parents, let's put hands together to spread the love to the kids. Let's join hands to make them better people. And to the children, get this: a word is enough for the wives. Take good counsel and you won't regret it. That's my final thought.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I have to say thank you to Nelly for jumping onto that chat and giving us some very brilliant ideas on what happens, you said, from the core. I love that. It's the foundation. Thank you for bringing that point home to us. And I'm hoping that whoever was here in this conversation today is going home with something. So before Ginger would say her final thoughts, please, could I just finish the rest of the people that have something here? I feel Amanda is saying, I feel the relationship between parents and kids is developed by connections and communication and time spent between parents and kids. So true. And we have said that, but it's good that people are bringing these conclusions, summary, so that people that were not here last week, you can go and watch the video from last week and you would see all of the amazing conversations that were had in that last at one of these conversations. And here now we have this. So hopefully you can go home with something tangible. And Amanda is saying hi to somebody else. And we have Hey Reality with okay. So that is it. And now, Ginger, your final thoughts on this so that we can round up. Thank you.
Going out, I guess I just want to say that moms and dads, we want our children to win. We want our children to be great. We want our children to have wonderful experiences. We want them to have positive outcomes of their life. And we want all of the sacrifices that we've made for them that they know about and that they don't know about. We want all of those little seeds to grow and flourish. So keep that in mind. We want our children to feel good about themselves. We want them to have positive memories. So in all of the interactions that we have with our children, let's keep that in mind. That we don't want to do things that make our children feel bad about themselves as human beings. We don't want them growing up thinking I was never good enough for my dad. I could never please my mom. That's not what we want. We want them to know that mom was reliable. She was always there. Dad was reliable. He was always there. They worked hard for me. They loved me. And if I had to choose between which one of them I was going to drop off of a cliff, I couldn't choose one.
Wow, fantastic. Wow, fantastic.
I tell my daughters
so mom
all
and
the
dad.
time. Yes, I tell my
Wow.
daughters all the time. I tell them, I say, look, I am not trying to control you. I am not trying to turn you into another me. I'm not using you as my opportunity to get it right. I'm telling you what I'm telling you because I want you to win. I want you to do better than I did. I want you to be smarter. I want for you to make more money. I want you to have more fun. I want you to be better than me. And yes, you have to make ultimately you have to make your decisions yourself. But I'm sharing with you what I'm sharing with you because I am on your team and I want you to win.
Wow, you are their best fan. Mom and dad, be your children's best fan because that's the only way they can win. Let's try our best. It's not easy. I think we need patience in this journey. We need patience. We need to be emotionally present in this journey to be able to help the children to win. And Daft Lad is saying Generation Z are hard work. Yes, and I love that point, Daft. And I also know that we, even in our own old age generation, I'm sure if our parents begin to tell us some of the things we did, we would know that even our generation was hard work. So, but thank you so much for that comment. Children, you're hard work for us, but just know that we love you. We just want you to win. We are on your team. We are your best fan. We are not doing this because we want to destroy you or we want to make you us or something. We just want you to win because when you win, you're not winning for us. You're winning for you, So thank you all so much for this. Let me just get all of this. I'm fanatic of my viewers. I don't want to miss anybody. What age group do you categorize the kids? I think even us, kids are until you leave your parents' house,
Yes.
Until you leave your parents' house, you're a kid. So your parents are trying to help you navigate life, and some people mature early and some people don't. So it depends on where your category, where you fall into. Because I know there are some adults that have learning difficulties or challenges, and they can still be under their parents' guidance for as many years as possible. So, but in my opinion, I would say for this conversation, when we say kids, we mean when you're still in your parents' enclosure, when you're still in their home. So you have to listen because unless that parent is really bad, I think, at the end of the day, maybe they're even doing it wrong, but they're doing it to save the child, to make the child win, But we need patience. We need to be more patient with our kids. So somebody is saying, are teenagers part of those we refer to? Of course, if your teenager is in your house, like Ginger said, and Christian said that, all of the panel actually said that. As long as that child is under your roof, they are your responsibility. Because if something happens, you are the first person that will be called. So let us model for our kids. For me, I think modeling as much as we can, and all of the things you guys have said, love, model, all of this. Just go through this, replay this video, and take something from this video. I'm sure it will nurture your home. Please. This is my recommendation for the viewers. And this is the final one, then we call it a really amazing discussion. Thank you all. I really appreciate your presence, that you help our viewers to go through this conversation. It's really not an easy conversation, but wow, you guys did it. Thank you so much. And you stay blessed, stay safe, and hope to see you again. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you, viewers. God bless you all. So we're ending now. Be a winner, kid. So let's use that again. Oh, Lucky's here. Okay, so we close now. Bye, everyone.